and welcome to Promise Resource Network. I'm Jane, and we're here at the Promise Resource Network Hub. We're at 2224 The Plaza. So this is Body, Mind, Spirit, where we get to talk about the body, the mind, and the spirit. And if this is something that you would like to join in the real life, please do. We are here, and it's warmer inside than outside, so that's why we're inside today. So as you hop on, you're welcome to chime in so I can put your information and your feelings and your experiences in with everyone else's feelings and thoughts and experiences here, so we can just really expand this network of love. So hope you're doing well. Hey, good morning. Good chilly morning. Yeah, it's chilly here too. So it's good to see y'all. You're going to be seeing the side of my face. So just letting you know. Good morning, Ben. Good morning, Mom. Hello. So good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
Welcome to Now. Good morning. Good morning. I'm going to hold space. There may be a couple more people joining. So let's just kind of hold space for anyone's spirit or physical body that may be joining us in a later now.
Okay.
So they may show up, they may not, right? Maybe someone wants to show up and they're on their way and they just can't make it. Who knows? So good morning, Charles. Oh. So let's anchor in and just get really present. So I'm just going to invite everyone to take a big breath in and just let it go. I invite you to close your eyes or look down at the floor or at the palms of your hands and start to feel your body. Feel the weight of your body in this moment. Feel the rise and fall of your chest as you breathe in and out. Feel the energy moving up and down your spine, acknowledging the structure of your bones and who you are in this now moment. Feel the warm blood pulsing throughout your body as your lungs expand and contract. Feel the flow of your breath moving in and out of your nose. And feel the top of your head be like a magnet toward the sky, opening up. And feel your energy, this fire and light that you are. Feel it within you and feel it expand beyond your flesh. Becoming real present to this now moment. Leave behind everything that has happened previous to this now. Everyone's lived a life. We've had experiences. We've had experiences this morning, yesterday, all the way from the day we were born and before. Dropping all of those memories just for now and come into this present moment. Take a big breath in and just let it go. Cool. So now we're here. Now we're a little bit more present. I'd like to do a check-in. 2 words. How you feeling? All right. How you feeling? Same here. Huh? Same here. 2 words. Thanks. 2 words. How you feeling?
Pass.
How you feeling?
Glad that you're here. I know that's too many words.
Thank you for sharing. How you feeling? 2 words. Good? How you feeling, David? Good? You know y'all can pick another. You could be good and bad if you want. How you feeling? 2 words. How you feeling, Alan? Tired? We got safe. Great. How you feeling? 2 words.
Awesomely pleased.
Awesomely pleased. Love it. How you feeling?
Extravagant.
Extravagant. Oh, fabulous. Thank you. I am feeling I'm feeling anxious and calm. My body is feeling anxiety. My heart is beating a little bit faster than it is. I can feel like I'm vibrating a little bit more. So it's like an anxiety feeling. It's like an elevated feeling. And the calm is it's my mind. I'm calm, nothing's happening. I'm just witnessing everything that's happening around me. So I'm actually feeling both at the same time right now. So that's why I offered 2 words. So anyone that offered 1 word, is there another word that you would like to add now that you are, I don't know, just now?
Insightful.
Happy and insightful. Any other words to go along with the other word, or is there anything that you would like to share? How you feeling?
Feeling real, I'm not sure about a lot of things.
Yes. I love
Yeah,
it.
I feel
The
unsure.
the uncertain, the like, I don't even know. That's a feeling right there. Ooh. I'm glad you can tap into that with awareness. That's huge. Thank you for sharing that. We got online, we have a good and sluggish. We have an okie dokie. Feeling great. Holly's here. That it is safe I speak of feeling authenticity. Love that. Thank you for sharing that.
Cattle word,
Sure.
artibrate,
Artibrate. What did you extrapolate that? What does that mean?
determined.
Ah, thank you for sharing that. I like that.
Oh, my pleasure.
Yeah. I'm feeling so much energy today. Like I woke up and the sky was completely pink, right? The sun was rising. It was such a beautiful. Yeah, I didn't get to see the lavender so much. It was like all the pinkies for me's. All of me. All the mini me's. Like anyway, the sky was right. All of me's. But I was seeing just like the sky was all pink, and normally that lights me up, and I'm like, oh my god, the sun is shining, it's pink sky. But I didn't feel that way. Instead, I just kind of felt like, oh wow, cool, sky is pink. And then I was like, okay, so I need to do this today, I need to do that today, I need to cancel this appointment. Oh dear God, I don't know how I'm going to fit all this in today. But everything's working out because it always ends. Man, that sky is so pink. Wow. And then I just kind of felt flatlined. Meaning I didn't feel, it's like the pink sky didn't jazz me up, and the weight of all that I need to do and the stress of that didn't weigh me down. It was like I just kind of was neutral. And so that's why it's like I'm just aware that my body is feeling anxious, my mind is feeling calm. And so when you think about it, it just kind of like neutralizes each other. And so I'm at this like interesting flatline place where I feel like I could go off in any direction really quickly. Like, because we were just laughing a minute ago, and I felt so much just like joy and laughter, just like jumping for the fan.
I know.
You know, and we laughed about your friend. You know, that was like I'll choose that one to go off into from this flatline neutral place where I'm also feeling both things. I'm not like numb. I'm actually feeling two things at the same time. I noticed that I could also go off into another direction. So if someone is, say, feeling a lot of anger about something and they're sharing it, then it's really easy for me to go into that space too and try to mitigate it or change it or join it, right? So I could go in either of these directions. And I'm noticing that in this day, I don't know if it was a conscious choice or not, I'm just like aware of it now, that I chose to play with the joy and the uplifting and all that. And the other experiences that I've been around in my day thus far that have been just heavier, you know, more anger or judgmental or not accepting or whatever those frequencies are and those consciousnesses are, that I was just aware of them. And I'm like, oh, I can feel that in my body. I felt it in my body. The feelings of anxiety in my physical form actually increased. But I didn't play in that space. I just breathed and I was like, I'm just going to be here. I'm just going to witness. I'm just going to hold space. Oh, okay, now it's joy again. I'll play in that one. I'll laugh with that one. And I feel like that's where we as humans have a challenge, right? Is to find neutrality, be aware of what my body is doing, what my mind is doing, what is happening inside of me and what is happening outside of me, and what am I choosing to play with, to feed into, to participate in. Because that's what we do. Everything that we're doing and speaking and thinking is a choice of participation. And we're here to participate in life. Like we are. This is life. We are participating in it because we got out of bed. That's it. Now, how do I want to play? How do I want to play in this game of life? Do I want to play and be the bully? Do I want to say this and that? Do I want to? That's not bad. It's just a choice. That's just how I'm going to play the game. Yeah, I remember playing games with my brother as a kid. And he would totally whip me in like Monopoly and stuff because he's 9 years older. He's got this brain to be able to play this game strategically. And I'm just like, I want the blue ones because it's a pretty color, and just not doing anything until I got to the blue, but I never got to the blue. So he would, so anyway, he chose to participate in the way of he wanted to win. I was choosing to play because I wanted to play. It's how we choose to show up and play. Yeah.
I have an example, and I'm going to be real honest with you. That dead friend I have, I found out that she lied to me in a lot of different things when I went out with some other people, even her sobriety date. I mean, just everything. And when I told, that was so mean. Why didn't she tell me what? Why did you lie to me? The first step is honesty. Then I told Jane, and she laughed. And it flipped my whole attitude towards the game. And so that's what I have to do in my brain if I want to have calmness and fun and so forth. I pray for it all the time, but I think if we're in our brain, I can flip it instead of being so devastated. What the fuck? She's dead anyway.
Yeah. Right? Why did she lie to me? What did I? As opposed to just being like, man, homegirl lied to me and now she's dead. Like, you can't make that up. Like why I can be mad or not. Here's the reality. She's still dead. Like, it's so true. What are you going to share?
I forget.
Okay. If it comes
Oh,
back
I
to you.
remember.
Okay, perfect. Look at that.
What is
Perfect
the
timing.
word for a pathological liar? Is it something nostalgia or something like that?
I don't know. Just someone that's scared to be honest.
No, it's not that they're scared to be honest. They just deliberately won't be.
Yeah, so it comes from an underlying program in subconscious trauma of fear. A fear of telling the truth, yeah. It's the root. I go to the root cause of stuff.
You probably have a degree.
I do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just do
A degree and
self-education.
yeah, me too. And lived experience. It's a whole conglomerate of this stone of me. But yeah, I call them pathological.
I'm all day long.
Right?
Flip it.
Flip it. Let's see. I want to share. Good morning, Karen. Dr. Ariel is here. Good morning. It says, I think it's super helpful to recognize when we're flatlining and prone to spiraling spiraling / triggers. Yeah, I agree. And to not beat ourselves up when we're flatlining. Like, we feel like, oh, I'm supposed to feel good, or I'm supposed to feel this way. I'm supposed to. We can actually feel nothing and it's okay. And not beat ourselves up over that. Like, it's okay to not know what I'm feeling and to be okay with that. Like, it's actually okay to feel the human and not judge it. Like, it's okay to feel mad and then to flip it and to be like, oh God, now I'm laughing at this now. Like, and that's okay. Like, everything is okay what we're feeling. Now, how we project, how I show up, how I play the game. Am I playing the game by myself, or am I taking someone else's pieces and am I being underhanded? That's a whole other story, because that's how we start to show up in the world. But how I feel is how I feel, and there's no right and wrong around it. But I think being aware of what I'm feeling, that's the work. And that's why I like to start everything with like a breath and a meditation and a presenting, so I can feel like, what am I feeling? Like, what am I actually feeling right now? Oh, I'm feeling numb hands. What does that mean? Am I just cold? Or have I not been active for 2 months? Like checking in. I want to say good morning to Michelle. And Holly says, tones disrupt my space internally and externally. I'm trying to respect this part of my awareness, that it is the best to honor my need to do what I need to feel better. Yes. Ooh, yes. Having that awareness is huge. Thank you for sharing that, Holly. Someone was going to share something.
Yeah, that was me.
Yes.
I don't feel like a Homo sapien. I feel like an ET from another dimension.
Well, you probably are.
Nah, I'd be mentally disturbed if I thought I was. Because I was definitely in my mother's stomach.
Oh, okay. So you can't be both. You can't be.
I feel like. I'm not saying I precisely am.
Okay.
'Cause I'm weird.
Yeah. I think we're all weird.
Yeah.
Like, I think that there's no one that's not weird.
Ha, take that, Homo sapiens.
Like, I mean, we're all weird. Like every human is weird, and if you don't think you're weird, then you're really weird. You know, like then you're like super weird. If you think you're like normal and regular and like, then you're more weird because it's normal to be weird.
Right.
Like to me, weird means unique. I created an acronym for it because I love acronyms, and it's we're intelligent, energetic, realized deities.
So wait, it's demons?
No, I said deities.
Oh yeah. Oh, sorry. I was gonna say with deity
Yeah.
because I was demons.
Yeah. No, that's okay. And what is a demon but just the dualistic side of a deity, right? So everything's the same thing. It's just
Yeah, there's
different
dualism and
ends.
everything.
yeah. Up, down, good, bad, left, right. That's why checking in. So when we can have times where we like flatline and just find ourselves in a neutral place, that's actually can be really helpful. When was the last time you all flatlined? And I don't mean that in just like X's for eyes, like need to thing. Like when was the last time you just really? Yay! Was it pleasant? No? What will you share? What was uncomfortable about it?
I'm just thinking,
What does flatlining mean?
when you just don't feel much.
Oh, like empty and hollow?
No, I feel like that feels like empty and hollow. When you just feel like I don't
What's it all
feel
about?
like you just don't feel anything.
honestly, just feel like saying,
All every day.
Kind of.
I mean, really, that's how I felt last night,
Yeah.
you know, to the point, trying to make sense out of simple things to other people, but to me, it's just too complex. And I made it bigger than it was, but it literally wore me out. Couldn't go to sleep. I was worried so much, focused on, rather than looking for the solution, hell, I'm rejecting and making a bigger issue out of the problem than it really is. And I'm guilty of that. I do it every day. I have to catch myself for it.
How do you catch yourself?
Just when I'm in that state of mind.
Yeah.
And
Errol mentioned spiraling. So how do you catch yourself when you're in a spiral? Any spiral.
How do you know when you're starting to spiral?
That's the question.
I need a lot. What did you say? How do you know?
Yeah. Like, how do you know? Like, how did you catch yourself when you were spiraling?
by grace, it wasn't something I chose.
Really? So you didn't stop your spiral. Did someone else stop your spiral, or did something come to distract you away from it long enough? Okay. So awareness. So you became aware of yourself. Cool. Thank you for sharing that. I'll probably get back to that. What else? Like, how do you know when you're spiraling?
It takes me about 24 hours to realize I've spiraled.
Is it when you're still in the spiral, or like
Yeah,
the next
still in the
day?
spiral.
Okay.
This next day it's still in the spiral, but not as much. I can compare.
Okay.
This is not as much as yesterday.
So it's like you've spiraled and then you got some rest. And so you're still in the spiral, but you're just not as like low in it or spinning as fast.
Right.
So it's like you're still like in that space. You're just like, oh shit, I'm in the spiral right now. Okay. What about you, Sergio? You were giggling.
Oh no, I was laughing about something.
Something else?
Yeah.
Okay.
He said something to Elijah, and I laughed at it.
Gotcha.
I couldn't help but to laugh at it.
Gotcha.
It was just
Funny.
Do you know what time it is?
It's about that time, 10:20.
Oh.
Let's see. Yep, Holly says we all have a state of quirkiness. My mom's on here. She says, "Amen." It's so true. For me, what I try to do, and I'm not necessarily I'm still practicing at this. Like, it's always a practice. Like, to me, the game of human is a practice. It's a game. It's never over until you die. And then you're just going to play another game called whatever you believe in the afterlife.
have a
or
question.
whatever. Hang on just 1 second if that's okay.
Sorry, I talk too much.
No, you don't.
Thank you.
My practice is just pausing and just like taking a breath and just checking in, like coming back to me. Like if I had a kid at some point during the day, probably multiple times a day, I'm going to look at that kid and be like, you hungry? You thirsty? Do you need to change your diaper? You know, you want to play? You know, the kid's going to talk to me and say, I'm bored. I want to go do a thing. I'm hungry. I pooped my pants. I don't know. Whatever kids say. You know, like they're checking in with themselves because their body is still loud to them. You know, their feelings are still loud to them. Their thoughts are still loud to them. They're so present. We just get distracted into these places called the past and the future. So we forget to check in. So my practice is checking in with my body. Once it starts to like kind of hurt, like, why is this hurting? You know, what's happening here? Why are you hurting, silly? You know? And like, man, I feel heavy today. And oh, it's not my body. I mean, my body feels heavy, but it's actually my heart. Oh, I'm still let down that, you know, my dad hasn't called me and it's only been 5 years. Gah, you know, like, and checking in with myself. And that's how I recognize if I'm in a spiral. And the spiral gets faster and faster the longer I don't check in with me. You know, it's like if you have a rash and you don't, and you just like, I'm just going to ignore it. It's gonna either go away on its own, but it's probably not. It's there for a reason. And it's going to keep growing and spreading until you notice it and do something about it. So the way I do it is like I take a breath and I feel my body. And sometimes it's like my body will tell me when my thoughts or my emotions are kind of going out in those spiral places. Because like my head, has anyone ever had their head feel like a balloon? Where it feels like somebody's like pumping up the air machine in your head, just like whoop,
Oh,
whoop,
yeah.
right? It's like it's just growing and growing. And so what I used to do is I would take a Tylenol. I would take an Advil. I wouldn't breathe and say, hey, Jane, why is your head getting ready to explode?
It gives me a headache too.
Right? Yeah. And it's not that I need to stop the pain. It's that I need to breathe and check in and ask myself, why is my head hurting? My head is hurting because I haven't had water. Or my head is hurting because I haven't breathed. I haven't actually actively taken many breaths to fill my body with oxygen. Maybe I haven't been outside. Maybe I've been only around someone that brings me down. Or maybe I'm stressing out about something. Like that's what causes these pains in my head. The Tylenol is just going to mask it. And so whatever triggered it that sent me in that spiral is going to happen again and again and again until I learn how to recognize it, mitigate it, and move myself through it. But if I just keep taking a Tylenol or an Advil or whatever, I'm just using a socially acceptable way to get rid of my feelings and awareness of myself. Exactly. It is a Band-Aid. And I'm not saying to not take Tylenol and Advil. Like there's always a time for medicine. Putting that out there, a little disclaimer. I want to hear what you have to say. I just want to share this real quick, if that's
We
okay.
said that the
No? Okay.
practicing game doesn't end until you die. Which death?
The human.
Or which one?
The one in the now of the human that you're in.
Well, that doesn't narrow it down. I'm sorry, I died more than once. I'm sorry.
I mean, like if you weren't still breathing in your human body, like in this now, like we can die multiple times. We have like spiritual rebirths, you know, and all that. And then we have like physical deaths where it's like, yeah, I died and I was dead, saw the light at the tunnel, and then they and I was like, I'm alive again. Those types of deaths too. But then there's like the death where you're like, you're not getting, you're not waking back up. Right. So it's that's the death that I'm talking about in this human where they waited long enough and they're like, she's not waking up. Like her eyes are totally X's.
All lives, deaths, revivals are a game and a joke. It's all a joke.
What is?
Existence. It's all a joke. It's an illusion.
Yeah.
Life and death is an illusion. But heaven's real. There's that. God's real.
Okay. I mean.
So you that was interesting for me, and I had experienced it, but you said we'd go through changes, spiritual changes throughout our life. Maybe 5, it doesn't matter, it just happens, but it's a change.
Mm-hmm.
That's amazing.
Yeah. I mean, if you think about it, like the caterpillar that changes into the butterfly,
Right.
they only do that once,
Uh,
right? Like, I'm a caterpillar and now I'm a butterfly. Bing bang. And then, like, that's it, like the end of story, right? Humans, we get this whole other opportunity that we get to metamorphose ourselves multiple times. You know, we'll be a version of ourselves. And we're like, I love this. This is so much fun. This is good. This is good. And then we start to spiral, right? We always are going to spiral down. And then we recognize that we've spiraled down. And then we get to cocoon in that darkness, heal ourselves, recognize what I've been doing to and with myself, how I've been showing up in the world, how I've been showing up for me. And then we're like, okay, now I'm ready to make the change. And then we start to shed what we don't need. We're breaking through that cocoon, and then we emerge, right? And then we're the butterfly, right? So we're like, I'm a butterfly. And we land, and we start to spiral down.
right.
And then sometimes we just go back up, and we come back down, up and down, up and down.
Right.
And then we land again, and we just kind of go back in. And sometimes we want to go back in. It doesn't have to be like a negative, painful spiral.
Right.
It's just choosing to hibernate.
And
I'm ready to
you can
change.
You can make a big change, or you can make little changes that you need to.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. You know, it's kind of like, has anyone ever completely changed your appearance? I'm talking like shaved your head, completely like changed your hair color, had plastic surgery, got a whole new outfit, moved to a whole new location to where nobody knew you, right? So everybody looks at you like you are a new human, right? These are when we show up differently. Those are experiential rebirths. You know, if I've been using substances in an unhealthy way for this long, that was a version of me. That was my butterfly. Well, then I don't use these substances in an unhealthy way anymore. Oh, now there's a new me, right? So like we go through these rebirths. To go through a rebirth, you got to go through a death.
Right. That's what I was thinking. This is a good way to think of you think about the past. You know, because that's gone. You're here now. You're a new butterfly.
Yeah.
Which I'm pretty good about that. I've gotten pretty good, but I know people have trouble with that. You know?
A lot of people have challenges with living in the past. Like they live in the past. You know, and they have a hard time being present, and they have a hard time like looking forward to a bright future.
Right.
And it's really interesting because a lot of people, like when we look in the past, we usually look at it like, oh, judgmental. I regret. I should not have done these things. And I'm going to now take all that information and look into the future and say, oh, I don't know how I'm going to be good because look at the past. How can I be good? Because look what I did. I'm never going to be present because I'm focusing out there and I'm focusing out there at the same time, right? As opposed to being like, okay, I know what I did. I'm real aware of what I did back then. We all know what we've done.
Right.
We're the clearest of them all, right? We know what we've done. Why can't we choose to look forward and say, it's going to be different? I don't even know how. I want to be curious in that unknown. I'm going to be open. I'm going to laugh at it because I have no idea if I'm going to get to those blue pieces on this Monopoly game. I have no idea, but I'm going to look way out there and I'm just going to enjoy that. I'm going to trust that I'm going to get to there. I know I'm going to get to there because there's always the end point.
Right.
You know, but we don't look at it collectively. Like we don't look at that future in that like curious joy. Like, I don't even know how it's going to turn out.
So when you get to that end point, is that when you can go back into your cocoon and change again? Or is the end point the end point?
Both.
Okay. Well, yeah, that's true. Because what do you do? Yeah, you're right.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah. And even in the game of Monopoly, there's that like the end point is sometimes go to jail.
Right.
So that to me, the go to jail on the Monopoly game is like, you're just going to sit. You're in pause. Right? You're just going to sit here, be with yourself, and you have an opportunity to just do all your work that everybody else is too busy to do. And when you come out, you're going to be the biggest butterfly ever.
All right.
Or not.
Or not.
because that's the choice.
But you can choose it.
Yeah, I can leave a cell and still be holding on to all the bars that confined me and all the chains, right? We've seen that. Or we can come out and be like, I am liberated. I'm going to make the best of this. Yeah.
I'm supposed to be in court right now, but I'm not. Not a warrant on me. My lawyer is representing me, and my case got dismissed because I'm clean.
That's awesome.
So you can't tell me it don't work.
Right.
Because I was in jail for 60 days. I got comfortable. I didn't want to leave.
Mhm.
Because I had 3 meals in a car.
Mhm.
I didn't have nowhere to go. When I left, I relapsed, but I quickly turned it around. I chose to relapse,
Mhm.
not nobody else. It was an excuse to get high.
Mhm.
So I say, you know what? It's not working. Why not just stay clean? All my
Right.
charges are going to be dismissed.
Yes.
Yes,
I'm so happy. Thank you for sharing
You'd
that.
be surprised how the legal system, if they see you trying, they will help you.
Yeah.
All cops are not bad.
Well, yeah, like all humans are not bad. You know, like that's the thing. There is no all this is that.
Boy, she said that all cops aren't bad. That's not true. Not all cops are bad, but the buffer Nazis.
I love her style.
Oh.
Let me
I
ask you
can't
a
say the
question. If I may ask you a question.
Woo! Wow.
Damn.
I didn't mean to start that.
No, you're good. No, I would like to hear what Robin has to share.
When you started this conversation, you said that you had to practice.
Uh-huh.
And that's what I want to know, how to practice, because I want my brain to laugh when somebody lies to me. I want my brain to flip to nice things all the time and happiness. How do I practice?
Well, remember that it won't happen all the time.
Right.
Like my brain does not go there all the time.
Right.
It's almost like if I'm always, you know how some people, it's like no matter what the weather is, they're complaining about it.
Mhm.
It's too hot. It's too cold. It's too dry. It's too wet. Those leaves this. Grumble, grumble, grumble butt. Right? So that's their practice.
Okay.
So it's just a practice of even going like, oh, the weather, you know what? Nah, I get to be alive today. Nah, screw it, I don't care. You know, so that's the practice. So it's even catching ourselves when we go into a way of being that doesn't feel good.
Right.
And that is another practice is, what am I feeling?
Right.
And then recognizing, well, that didn't feel good. But I'm just gonna laugh. I'm just gonna laugh at myself. You know?
And you be able to leave it behind. When you make mistakes, be able to leave it behind. Sometimes an apology is necessary.
Yeah.
When the old thoughts of selfishness or something come rolling back into your head, you can recognize them, maybe not at the moment, but you recognize them, ask that please let's change that, and practice going forward, try not to be so selfish.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. It's just kind of catching where I am and moving to the next.
Right, catching where I am is the issue.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
But so that's what we'll do too, right? Like we'll catch where we are and then we get mad that we didn't catch ourselves sooner.
Even if I don't catch myself, I'll always be reaching.
Yeah.
Well, since I've been
Definitely.
clean, I try not to I don't even try, like, I'm smart. I'm
Yes.
street smart.
No, you're
And-
extremely smart.
Yeah, and I still don't put myself in situations like that anymore. If I know that something ain't right, I feel it in my spirit.
Yes. It's like
I
you
feel
feel
my
it in your,
spirit.
yeah, you feel like your energy, you feel all that stuff, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
And I feel like if it's gonna harm me or somebody else, I just don't even do it.
Thank you for that. Like, thank you for having that awareness, right? Like this is actually gonna cause somebody harm. And how funny is it that we'll do that, right? We'll be like, oh no, this is gonna hurt someone's feelings. And so we don't do it.
Uh-huh.
And yet we don't go, oh, this is gonna hurt me. I'm not gonna do it.
Right.
We're like, oh no, I'll be fine. I'm hardcore. No, you're not, but I'm doing it to myself anyway. You know, like we're silly.
And so
Silly
one of our lessons is learning to say those things gently and kindly.
Yes. When I work with kids, we talk about kind communication. It's just kind communication.
Uh-huh.
And we are communicating with ourselves all the time. Our bodies are communicating with us all the time.
Uh-huh.
My mind is communicating with me all the time. And I'm talking to myself all the time, whether I'm actively doing it or
I
not.
just hope you don't answer.
I'm
You
laughing
bet I answer. I always answer myself. I don't want to make her mad.
It's just so funny because it's so true.
Right?
And you don't want to admit you're talking to yourself all the time.
And
All
I see people doing that in
Good morning,
transit,
darling.
thinking they're on a cell phone. It's not funny, it's mental illness, really.
Not all the time.
Oh,
So there are two different forms of hearing the voices. There is the mental diagnoses where you hear the voices and you have conversations with them. And then there's a spiritual gift. It's telepathy, and it actually is or clairaudience. So no, it is not.
I'm not telepathic. I'm just saying.
But it's called clairaudience, and it's a way of hearing, and it's a spiritual gift. It's a psychic ability.
Because we have a lady in our home just like that, and she tells us, she scares me.
Yeah.
Because you know what the mindset is. I'm getting off
Can a
topic
person
now.
carry on, can a person live in the real world, pay bills and all that stuff, and then still
Oh, yeah.
have the special gift?
Oh yeah, I have tons of spiritual gifts.
Uh-huh.
Like I see things, I hear things,
Right.
and I know that like whoever I talk to can either be like, that's cool or that's not. Yeah, that's their perspective.
Uh-huh.
You know? It's like,
You're right. I
you know.
haven't recognized them, but I do too.
yeah. I want to share what some of our friends are saying. Charles is talking about when you realize you're caught up in the bless you whirlwind.
Can I just say something?
Yes, I would like to share what some people are here saying real quick though
Okay.
first, if that's okay with you. Is that okay?
That's perfectly fine.
Thanks. Ariel says, hi, I'm in the waiting for a call from dad that never came. Oh, that's really cute. Darlene is here and says that stress is a factor for head crisis and depression. It is. Stress is so big, and we don't even recognize that we are in a stressful now because we just numb our body, and our body is the messenger that says, hey, you're stressing out. Right? It's like the operator. Hello, you're stressing out. Shh, be quiet. I'm busy. I'm busy stressing out. Ariel says with PTSD, it can feel impossible to not live in the past sometimes. The more therapy and self-work you do, the bigger the can of worms is to open. Very frustrating and lengthy process. It can, unless we have what we call miraculous healings and EMDR, and that can actually move a lot of that through. Only speaking from my own personal experience. And she also says, asking yourself, what am I really upset about, can be a helpful way to distinguish general stress from specific triggers. Yes, talking to yourself. She's even a doctor, and she says so. And she's a doctor. Wow. She says so.
I'm so happy.
And Roberta, I'm happy you're here, and I hope that you feel better. Send you healing vibes, sister. And what were you going to share?
Oh yeah, I was gonna say the reason why I said it's not a gift, it's a curse, is because well, first of all, if someone was to invade your mind, that's hijacking free will. Second of all, if someone was in your mind, that'd be traumatizing for you more than the telepath themselves if they unintentionally did it. Telepathy exists, but they're dicks. They're evil.
I prefer if you don't call me a dick and don't tell me I'm evil.
I'm sorry.
Thank you.
But what you should have said when I said it's not a gift, it's a curse, you should have said only if you let it be. You should have quoted Jean Grey.
I don't should on anyone, and I don't request anyone to should on me.
I don't shit on anyone. I just roast at or with.
Well,
I mean,
it's a boundary for me, so I don't request to be roasted.
I wasn't roasting you.
I'm just sharing.
Cause I'll be messed up. I just met you.
Thanks.
I'm really sorry.
You're fine. You don't have to apologize.
So wait, how did you activate telepathy? Did you center yourself? Did you clear your mind?
Everything is energy, so I tap into
Yeah.
different fields and forms of consciousness.
You gotta
Everything
teach
is
me sometime.
energy.
I don't want telepathy. I just mean like with omnipotence. So
Yeah.
I can help God and others.
Yeah, then you be that.
I
Right?
mean, everyone is.
Right.
They're just. What's that word? Something's deep.
Disconnected?
No. It's like deactivated. It's like a synonym of deactivated.
If it comes to you, let me know.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, it's that listening to ourselves, and hearing like, what are my thoughts? Am I being stressed out? Like, am I standing up for myself? You know, or am I putting myself aside to accommodate something outside of me? And that's going to cause our body stress. Has anyone ever had, like, I don't know, a job or a relationship that you're like, oh, I got to show up for this and I really don't want to? I'm not the only one. Okay, good. Like, that causes us stress because we're actually doing something that we don't want to do. I think I have an eyelash in my eye. I'm just winking at you, Robin.
I liked something that you just said.
Thank
I'm
you,
trying to
Michelle.
remember it.
Thank you, Ariel. Yes.
It was something about your thoughts, and I just can't remember. When you're talking, oh, I know what it was. When speak of me, all the things I did left with low self-esteem, but I'm changing and working on it, so forth. Occasionally, my brain still says, you shouldn't have done that, yeah, that was mean, all those things. And so that's when I have to, it's okay for me to think those things, right?
Yeah. And
then when they come, I've got to recognize them and turn them around.
Yeah. And give yourself grace, give yourself compassion. Recognize that, I did something and I said something. Like, I said something to someone a year ago. No joke, y'all. I said something to someone a year ago and they did not share with me that it hurt their feeling. And they've been holding on to this for a year, a whole year. And I'm wondering why it feels weird when I'm with them. And I'm like, well, I'm just going to keep showing up as myself and I'm still going to love them, but I don't know. I don't know why, but okay. And I'm just feeling their vibe and I'm just witnessing it and taking it personally and then being like, nah, I'm just picking up whatever. So then a year later, this past week, it comes out and they share with me, hey, something that you did and said hurt my feelings a year ago. And because I'm so far disconnected from that experience, I was like, whoa, I'm sorry you felt that. I'm sorry I created that space for you, first of all. Like, I acknowledge that what I said could hurt you in that way, and moving forward, I wouldn't say that again. Like, thank you for bringing that into my awareness, Now, internally, I could have gone to a few different places, right? I could have really gone down into a spiral of how could I have done that? How could I have been causing them pain for this whole year? Why didn't they feel safe to tell me for this whole time? What's wrong with me? I could have gone so many places. I allowed myself to tap into those places, and I also tapped into so much gratitude that they were holding on to it and that I didn't. I got into so much gratitude that they are now strong enough and in a place in there now to share it with me. I'm glad that I am in now a place to receive this feedback, and I felt the discomfort and the sadness and the gratitude and the joy. Like, I was able to feel all of it and then work through the conversation around it, right. Which wasn't as quick and easy as what I just quoted it to be. Right. It was a lot more stumbling than that, It was a lot more stumbling. Yeah.
So you remember when you said how we feel? And I just told you about my court date or my court situation. But this is how I feel. If you don't know, you got to find out. Everything is happening in my favor. And that little situation this morning, like, I do this, I disapprove of some people. People scare me, but I can't let one little situation ruin my whole day. And see, now I gotta ride to the AA meeting. I have to take the bus. God works in mysterious ways. I need that meeting, cause that right there, I don't care. It's done. And after I pray,
Who's giving you a ride?
the counselor in the back.
I can ride with you.
Yes.
Hey, I want to hear what Jeremy has to share too. He had his hand up. Thank you for sharing that. Cool. Are you sure?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, okay. What were you going to share? I forgot your name.
Oh, Juliana.
Juliana, thank you.
Two things. The word was dormant.
Okay.
That's what I was trying to say. It took all this time to remember.
I'm glad you remembered it. That's impressive.
Thank you.
I usually don't remember like that.
Yeah, my brain cells are scrambled eggs right now, so it's probably hard for you to read my mind.
I'm not trying.
You don't want to. And what are you guys sharing?
What about what, right? In this now?
Yeah.
I was just sharing that You know, like sometimes people step on your toes. Some like I had a lady tell me the other day in recovery, you talk too much. And I do talk a lot. She got body, I don't know shit about staying clean.
Oh, thanks, y'all.
So if I
That's
just learn
helpful.
to listen and listen to learn, I take things
Realize.
to heart. I take things to heart, but it's only to better myself. And sometimes I think people to get clean. That's why I quit going to NA, because they think they're better than somebody. Have you experienced that?
Mm-mm.
Have you experienced that?
The best thing that you could do is not judge other people.
Okay.
Because you have no idea what's going on with them. They may be crazy as hell, they may have had a bad day. And it's a hard thing to do. Because I walk into those rooms and I go, those shoes are stupid.
Yeah.
You know, and then I have to back off and say, Robin, they made this all the shoes they could buy. And you just don't know. So not judging the situation will make you feel very safe.
And don't forget where I come from. Because I was out there too.
Right?
I hurt people too.
Right?
Hurt people.
Every single time. What were you going to share, Jeremy?
Go, Jeremy, I'm done.
I was gonna say maybe Robin should teach this class.
Right?
She knows what she's talking
I know.
I with Jane, I absorb everything she says because I would like to have her. She's like, you want to be somebody because that's the attributes that you want. I could never be because of all the study you've done, but I can ask and I can try to move my way. So all I am is a poor little patient.
Oh,
I think that we're all just reflections of each other.
Yeah, that's right. You say that all the time.
I mean, really, like we are all reflections of each other. We all are from the same source. Like legitimately, we are all from the same source. It's like, and I've said this analogy before, if we all took a cup of water from the ocean and we're holding it, are we really holding anything different? No, we're not. We're all holding a cup of water from the ocean. That is what we are. We are literally versions of ourselves sitting with each other. It's like we're like, this is just a bunch of you sitting around having a conversation with you for you.
And everything atoms.
Everything is, yes. Everything is atomic and subatomic particles
Okay.
made of more light and sound than matter. The size of a nucleus in an atom is so minuscule compared to the atomic field and the electromagnetic field and the electron field. But the electron field is what makes the boundary of it. It's mostly space. We are more space than we actually are density. But we just have a belief that we're dense, and that's how our eyes perceive things, just the way the light bounces off of us.
Gotcha.
Yep.
For a minute.
Yep.
Moment, I'll
Right.
ask you again.
Yeah. Like we literally are just aspects of each other.
I just
Well,
love
thank
that.
you, Darlene.
Well, another word for Vermont is latent.
Say what again?
Another word for Vermont is latent.
Yes. Yeah. Like dormant, latent, unseen, forgotten.
And what you were saying about the word psychic, I hate that word because it's so close to the word psycho. Yeah, ever since I was a teenager, I call it intuitive psionics. Even Malevolence calls it ESP. You got to be careful as a telepath.
So this is very interesting. I'll just touch on this, and I talked about it in expansions if anyone wants to like check out the replay on YouTube. But spiritual gifts have been they've put into groups called woo-woo. First of all, right? Like, oh, it's woo-woo. It's weird. It's not real. It's fake. And then what happened is that also religions needed to control people, and so they would say that no, you can't talk to spirit. Only we can talk to spirit, and you got to pay us to talk to spirit for you. So it was a form of control to dumb down and diminish people's spiritual gifts.
I know.
So, you know, so it's
Don't
like,
want people to wake
psychic.
up.
Yeah. So psychic is an ability to tap into the subtle energies that are just unseen in our material world. That's all that is. You know, it's just translating energy. It's like if I turn the radio on and have it on volume 5, there might be a percentage of people in here that could hear it and a percentage of people that can't. It doesn't mean the radio isn't on. It's just only some people are able to attune and translate that and hear it for themselves, right? It's just subtle. can't see the sound waves, can't prove they're there. Not until someone can hear it is it provable, right?
Can I say this?
And there's always a source.
Can I say this because you're a telepath?
You can say whatever you want.
Oh, thank you, First Amendment. Even though I am an intuitive psionic, just because I'm more advanced doesn't mean I'm better than anyone else.
Yeah, I don't think anyone's better than anyone else.
That's right.
Yeah, I think that like walking out of the hierarchical ways of being, like this is better than that, I'm better than you, and you're better than me, and you're not as good as. I think that that's just part of the system that we're all growing out of.
Just don't let your telepathy control you.
Thank you for that reflection.
Oh, it's my pleasure.
Yeah. I control myself.
Good. Don't control others.
I can't.
Stand that capability of ability.
I don't think that we can.
No, there are beings that can control and manipulate. With or without intuitive psionics, they can do it.
Okay. Thanks for sharing.
I love to share and care.
Let's see. Ariel says the doctor approves of the woo-woo spiritual gifts too. Right?
So everybody could have the spiritual gifts.
Yes.
You can
Yes.
meditate and you pray
Mhm.
and you get in touch with or you think you are, getting in touch with the electrons and the things that come around you and make you feel better. You can attain a spiritual gift.
Yeah, I mean, because we all have them.
Right.
You know, and a lot of times they've been labeled as something or diminished or told that that's not real.
Right.
You know, so many kids will have them and they're like, yeah, I see this and I see that. And we're like, no, you don't.
It's traumatizing.
Right. And the kid's like, now I don't trust myself. Okay. They're just connecting with spirit. You know, it's a way of connecting with spirit. Do we hear spirit? Some of us do, you know.
Can you tell this to the doubters? If that being is still saying it's very dead, that it's real, then it's real.
Everything is real only if someone believes it. Nothing exists without the belief of it.
I like your concept.
It's all quantum physics to me.
I suck at mathematics. Can you use your telepathy to enhance my mathematics? I suck at it.
It's not how it works. If I could use, telepathy is being able to pick up on other thought forms.
Well, you can't communicate with the person in their mind because beings can do it.
It depends on if the other person is telepathic. I can pick up on, if I pick up on Robin's thoughts right now, then I'm picking up on Robin's thoughts. Now, if she's telepathic and she can pick up on my thoughts and then they start to like commingle in this like little nebulous between us and thoughts, then we'll both kind of know what we're thinking.
I just see energy around you. That's what I can see.
So that's a gift.
You got some pretty teeth, and I'm not
Thanks.
I wish my teeth that.
I use natural toothpaste with no fluoride.
White teeth.
So part of my addictions in my life was obsessive compulsive behavior, and it manifested in the way I would nitpick myself and my body and try to control and stuff, like disordered eating and all these other things. So for a time I bleached my teeth when I was like 18. Yeah, but I like did it like I didn't know that you were supposed to do like here and there, and I did it like every night for like 6 months. And people were like, whoa, God, your teeth are bright. And I'd be like, what are you talking about?
I've never seen you drink coffee either. I drink a lot of coffee.
Yeah, I don't.
That stains your teeth.
Yeah, but your teeth are beautiful. Everybody's teeth are beautiful. That's the thing, everybody's teeth are beautiful. You know, whether you have none or one or 80 million and you're like a shark with all those rows of teeth. Yeah, like it's just everything to me is just beautiful.
Yeah, beauty is within the eye of the beholder.
Yes. Mama Jane says another spiritual gift we all have is connecting to God. Is to spirit, to God, to the universe.
You, Mama Jane.
Yes, exactly.
Oh, what's your name?
Oh,
What's her name?
mine, Jane.
Oh, yeah, Jane.
Uh-huh.
Mom goes on the
When you were
chat.
talking about self-talk,
Uh-huh.
read this book, Walking on Eggshells. It states that, because I'm a BPD person, a borderline, people who have borderline personality disorder will talk to themselves.
Yes, and people that don't talk to themselves.
Oh,
Yeah. You know, it's kind
I
of
talk
like,
to myself
it's kind of
all
like,
the time. Everyone hates me for it.
I don't hate you for it.
Thank you. My mom gets scared when I talk to myself.
Yeah.
Because the definition of borderline is between psychosis and neurosis.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think it's really challenging, I think, when we've been diagnosed as something that other people do that aren't diagnosed with, right? It's kind of like if I can drink alcohol. I don't, but I can. Some people can't. Does that mean that all drinking alcohol is bad? No. It means that, like, I may not have a challenge with my relationship with it. I don't drink because it makes me vomit because I've done that too
I
much.
was diagnosed with borderline personality disorder, and I lived with that for about 5 years, and then another doctor diagnosed me as bipolar 1. And bipolar 1 fit me better. But, and I think the way that it was explained to me is my brakes are either full down or the gas is full. I didn't have any middle relates to the other diagnosis. So that's all I just wanted to say.
Well,
Interesting.
I'm bipolar borderline personality / cocaine dependent. And I got cocaine dependent because all I did was cocaine. They didn't know if I was mental health or not because
Mm-hmm.
I stayed jacked up so much. And then when I finally get off the medicine, the mental health started kicking in. And then it kind of determined, yeah. Because I get high on coffee now.
Yes.
And my PO be laughing at me. He say, you gonna have a stroke. If I drink 5 cups a day or probably more, knowing I got heart issues, but it's like another addiction. But I like sugar, because my drug of choice has sugar in it.
Mm-hmm.
So I had to have something sweet. So I only had 2 cups this morning.
Wow. Did you know that sugar works the same way neurologically on our brain as cocaine?
No.
Mhm.
Yep.
Yep, exactly the same.
Dopamine or stimuli.
That's why I come in here, I be so talkative all the time.
Yeah. And, it's kind of like, you were saying that you shared that you had a diagnosis, but they couldn't really tell because of what your behaviors were at that time. And think about this too, right? I go into the doctor and they give me a medicine and for high blood pressure, right? So I go and I take my blood pressure medicine. Well, then that gives me a side effect. So then they give me the second medicine to deal with the side effect. Well, that gave me another side effect. Well, now I have to take this medicine that makes me do this. And then, so now I'm on all these pharmaceuticals. And so then I go in one day and I'm just like, I feel bad. I don't know what it is. I just feel bad. I feel heavy. I feel gross. I feel sick. I'm hurting. I don't know. And I don't know what it is. Right? So we get to unpack so much, right? To be able to get down to the root to actually identify that part. And then for many of us, we don't know what to let go of because we're scared. We're like, well, what if I let go of this pharmaceutical? Because then all these other bad things are going to happen, right? And so we get in this kind of stuck spot to get down to that place of like, okay, this is just me with me. Okay, now what do I got? What am I working with? Not saying that if you are on something like, if you have to take blood pressure medicine to stay alive, please don't stop that to just feel what your body would feel like without it. Like not saying that, but you know what I mean? Like it's so much of this unpacking and coming back to homeostasis, right? Okay, now what do I need to unpack? I need to unpack this. Okay, what else? I'm ready to let go of that. Okay, what else? Nope, I need to add this back in. And kind of doing that. But if I'm not present with me, if I don't talk to myself, if I don't ask my body, what you feeling, homie? If I'm not aware of what my thoughts are doing, if I'm not aware of my energy and who I am, and if I'm not even breathing, I'll never know. And if I'll never know, then I'm relying on a system outside of me to take care of me that is proven to not give a damn. Like it doesn't. It says it does, but it has nothing to do with mental or emotional or spiritual health. Those are the 3 parts of human. Like that is the 3 parts of human. And the system doesn't take care of that. They just control the physical. Let's just control the physical. Let's tell you what to put in your body, what you can't do, how you need to live, and where you need to live, and put this in your body, and then we'll let you into the store. You know what I mean? Like they don't feed the full human that we are. So it's really up to us to keep checking in with us and just find the humor in it all.
Yeah.
Like Ariel says, story of my pharmaceutical life and medical practice. I used to joke when that I was a drug dealer, right? Yes. And Charles says, so many labels. Why can't we just be human? And Mom says, her teeth are beautiful. They are. You're beautiful, Mom.
What's beautiful, honey?
Her teeth. She's like, my teeth are beautiful. Yes, they are. But anyway, I want to wrap this up just by like reminding us to just check in, right? Check in with what we're feeling, what our body's telling us, what our thoughts are doing. Like just keep checking in, keep breathing. If you are feeling really super high, if you're feeling really super low, if you're feeling super nothing at all, please don't judge what you're feeling. Navigate through it. Just navigate yourself through it. I'm feeling really heavy. I'm feeling really mad. And that's okay that I'm feeling really angry and mad. And I want to keep feeling angry and mad because I'm afraid of feeling joy right now. Like be real with yourself, you know? Or if I'm feeling really good, I'm feeling so joyful and now I don't deserve this. Well, why don't I deserve it? Yes, I do. You know, just be aware of what this really deep thought process is and then navigate through that. And it may just be taking a few deep breaths, coming back to yourself, and then seeing what the next step may unfold to be.
I want to ask you one question.
Yeah.
Sometimes those things are going in you, you're self-righteous about, which is not good. Or you think, well, I deserve to be dead. How do you flip that?
Well, that I am deserving and worthy of love.
Okay.
Like, period.
Right.
Right?
Right.
Just, I am love. I deserve love. I'm worthy of love. And that way, like, so that way, if I'm like being self-righteous, like I know everything, or the opposite end of that, it's going to bring me back to that center point,
Right.
which is love.
Love.
Because it always is, because that's what we all are. That's the part we forget. That we are love. Like, we are all love. We forget it. It's cute. We just forget. We are literally love nuggets trying to be human confined in a body.
Right.
Love is expansive and eternal. We literally try to just confine it into our human, you know? So I just want to say thank you. I just want to say goodbye to everybody here. Thank you so much, y'all, for being here. I love you so much.
Whoa,
Enjoy this day. Enjoy your breath. Enjoy the weather wherever you are and know how loved you are. And I will see you all later.